Hi, I'm Cameron. You might know that. You might not know that, but that's fine. Either way, it's been a little bit. I uploaded a video, but I didn't like it very much, so I took it down. It's fine, I didn't talk about anything. Um, I guess just the recap of that is that I haven't been able to play games as much as I'd like to, because I had some serious hand issues, like my wrists. Like I was playing World of Warcraft a lot with some people I knew. I don't know how to hold this thing in a comfortable distance. Like I'm doing that the whole time, you know? I don't know. Um but I was having some hand problems. Like I'm playing with Warcraft with people I know, and I would get these like sharp shoots of pain down my wrist. And so I kind of just had to like call it good to be like, well, I'm having fun with this and I like hanging out with these guys, but it's not worth it to potentially cause permanent nerve damage or ruin my hands over carpal tunnel or something like that. So I've been reading more again, and kind of just focusing more on personal things and watching more shows and stuff like that I've been putting off for a long time. Um, that was the gist of the video. It didn't need to be 20 minutes long. That's why I took it down. I didn't like it. Um, but I haven't really talked about anything because I just haven't really known what to say, I suppose. I'm in this strange interim right now wherein I suppose I've been in that interim for a while now. It's just that the distraction that I've had since I quit my job to go, well, this is my life. I can do whatever I want with it. Let's go on this big journey. Let's go to Japan. Let's follow our dreams and everything like that. And in doing that, do I feel like I've learned something? Do I feel like I'm this like crazy new person, like I never get sad ever again? I'm like 100% productive or something like that. Um, Not really. No. Um, I feel like for the most part I'm the same person, and I don't think that fundamentally I'm going to change as a person anymore. I believe what I believe, and I care about the things that I care about. Not to say that I can't still make mistakes, not to say that I can't still learn new things, just that who I am is who I am, and I don't need to worry about some type of new innovation in that front. There's nothing wrong with who I am. People like me for who I am. And any amount of childhood abuse or repressed trauma or Hololive fans shoving me into the back of a van and trying to make me do cocaine in college, that's a real story in case you're new here, um, affects who I am. Sure, I can be sad about things, but that doesn't mean that who I am is fundamentally wrong. So, I guess in general, it's been kind of difficult to sit down and just talk for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even 20 minutes like I was doing before because I've noticed that typically speaking, negativity draws more attention than positivity. And it was almost like I was getting trapped in this feedback loop wherein, well, I feel bad about something, better make a 30-minute long video about it so that way people watch it. Um, After one of my videos that I was particularly depressed in, somebody reached out, was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I appreciate you reaching out." But at the same time, there was this feeling of they only reached out because I was depressed. They hadn't reached out in 4 years aside from that. And there was this certain level of disingenuousness to that, wherein, so now that something's wrong, now all of a sudden it's relevant. It's the same thing that happens to like artists who switch from making like depressive, that's not a word, it is a word, just not the correct one, depressing content, to where they start feeling better and they start making more positive content, and it's like, well, now it's less like moody, now it's like less serious, and people don't like it as much. I saw a video where a guy announced that he had cancer. I don't have cancer, by the way, I just shaved my head. um, and then he made a follow up video like a year or two later, and he was like, I beat cancer. And it had like a fraction of the views. So, in my case, I was getting upset at the fact that I felt like I was being more incentivized to make negative content than I was to just simply talk about what I wanted to talk about. And it got to a point to where it's like, okay, well, this is growing. what can I do to make it grow more? What can I do to like influence that in some way to like kind of spring off of that and keep going? And that's not what I wanted to do, you know? I mean, I just like talking about what I like talking about. And little things like make sure you in the comments below say something, I believe in you. And it's like I don't really like that performative aspect of it. And if there's something that I've learned so far as we come near the end of the year, is that so much of our lives is performative, and so much of that is just keeping up appearances and forcing ourselves to do things that we don't want to do for the sake of fitting in. And I feel as if I've made a genuine effort in the past few months to do things I'm supposed to do. Like, well, I love anime, in case you didn't guess that. I love anime, I love mecha, I love video games, I love manga, I love movies, I love all this stuff. I better go to Japan where I'll figure something out. And what did I learn from going to Japan? It's like, well, it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. You're still the same person. Being in Japan didn't suddenly make me feel like I was worth more. It just meant a lot to me that I could go to a place where I can see a big giant statue of my favorite show. Or you can go to the Tokyo Tower and you can like find a message on the wall that says like, I want to make the world a better place from a game developer. And it's like, wow, I could have written that. And that's not something that's exclusive to just Japan, though. That's just something that happens as a circumstance of going out more, of broadening your perspective and learning more about the world. And I mean, I've been reading more, you know. It's like I read like old books. I started reading Notes from Underground. It's a Russian book. I don't know if it's like a popular book or not. Just some girl I knew in a library one time told me to read it. Took a bit long to get to it. But I'm reading that and I'm like, wow, this is like extremely relatable. And like you read any of like Kafka's stuff, and it's like, wow, man, life really is just so depressing. Sometimes you just have to laugh about it. And a consistent thing I'm seeing when I engage with more of the world is that I don't feel as lonely. And why is that? Because I see more of the things that matter to me when I engage with more of the world, where I love giant robots, but I get made fun of it all of the time. When I was in college and I wore my Gurren Lagann necklace every day, people would come up to me and be like, "Kill la Kill is better." And I'm like, "What? What does that have to? Why? Why engage with me in that way? Like, hey, that thing you like sucks." It's like that's kind of funny, but you know. And then going to Japan and like wearing my Gundam jacket and like what noticing like elderly couples look at you nicer because you're wearing that jacket. That's nice, you know? Or like just wearing nice clothes instead of like crap I just throw on. I never really had a problem with that, but I definitely noticed it in Japan where I accidentally almost bought an entire art gallery because I went up to the Japanese businessman wearing the suit that was in front of it and I tried to ask him like, "Oh, what's this picture named?" And he thought me gesturing to the picture on the wall was me going like, "I want to buy this." And I was wearing like tan dress pants and like some nice like brown shoes, and I had like a button up on, and I had like my traveling satchel, and so he had like like he probably thinks I'm like some like young millionaire or something like that, like, oh, Soka, oh, gaijin money this or something. Um, but the more we put into the world, the more we get out of it. And I spent so much time thinking, well, if I don't go out and achieve my dreams right this second, then my life doesn't have any meaning and I'm a failure. It's all over. And, well, the people I hang out with right now, maybe they're kind of a bit flaky. Maybe they aren't necessarily there for me when I need it. Maybe I'm not necessarily feeling as if the amount of effort that I put in is reciprocated. And these are things that are impossible to overcome. And Look, what I'm trying to say here is that I thought that quitting my job, making this big active effort of like, I'm gonna go and live my life, I'm gonna achieve my dreams and all of that. I thought it was like, I'm trying not to burp. That's what the pauses are, okay? I had pizza earlier because I felt like having pizza. But it's not like a switch that you flip. It's not like you lock in, like, this is it. This is the moment. I'm not gonna jack off ever again. I'm gonna work out every day. I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. I gotta keep my semen retention in shape. I'm never gonna drink alcohol. I'm not gonna talk to women. I'm not gonna do anything like that. It's not like a state that you go into where all of a sudden, like, you're hyper focused. It's like, this is it. This is the moment. This is where it all matters. And you like 100%, you're in the moment. Let's go. It's not like that. I tried to do that a few times and I burnt out. And it's like you get a sleep schedule where it's like you're waking up at 5 a.m. and then like you're miserable the whole day because it's not natural, you know? Rather than just waking up when you need to wake up or just sleeping when you need to sleep, you're forcing yourself to be hyper committed to something that may or may not even happen. I'm not I'm not a writer unless I write 2,000 no 3,000 words a day. It doesn't mean anything. But every time I sat down to try and write 2,000 words a day, I always ended up getting stuck around like 800 words, 1,000 words, and going like, well, I'm stuck and I can't think of anything else right now. I guess I failed today. But rather than thinking of it that way, it's every day I sit down and I like fix a comma on my writing is significantly more effort than all of the days I spent doing nothing. All of the days I was miserable at that job that I hated, where I would just go home and I'd be sad and I'd be like, I'm such a loser, I'm not doing the things that actually matter to me. It's not like I didn't have the time for it. It was just this like mental state of like, well, it's such a big time commitment. It's so serious. There's so much going into it. And it was something that a friend of mine talked to me about. And this friend has like 30 years of like game industry experience where I was saying like, well, I can't work on my game. I can't write a book because I'm stuck at this job that I hate. And he basically went, I mean, you can. You need to like get it through your head that just because you have priorities in your life doesn't mean that you can't take the times for the things that you care about. And it really is just a mental thing. I mean, if I take writing so seriously, if I put it on this massive pedestal where it's like, this is my dream, this is my life's work, then I get that paralysis. And it's no different than the same reason why I never wanted to do tournaments for archery, even though I did it for 10 years. It's why I don't like playing in tournaments for Tekken, even though I played that for 7 years. And it's like, because I want to have fun with it. Because it's something that gives me joy and makes me happy. And if I take writing and I put it on this level where it's like every day 2,000 words on the dot, then it gets to that point to where no longer it's something that makes me happy. No longer is it something that I'm looking forward to share with people. It becomes an obligation. It becomes a job in of itself. And so rather than approach it as being like, if I don't do this, I'm a loser and I'm wasting my life, I think of it as being, if I can just be a little bit better today than I was yesterday, then I'm still moving forward. It doesn't matter how many years it take. It doesn't matter if it's harder than I ever imagined it would be. It doesn't matter if like the load is heavier than I can bear. It's just about moving forward one step at a time, one day at a time, until eventually only you are left standing and there's nothing else left in your way. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. And forcing myself to be somebody that I'm not, forcing myself to have an interaction with people that I don't like because I want to fit in, that isn't who I am either. And I need to stop putting so much weight on the words of people who don't really matter in the long run. And every day I write, or I go for a walk, or I read more, or I'm like actually playing games I've been putting off this whole time because I've just been too like, well, I'm just in such a bad mood I can't even play a video game. I can't even watch an hour-long movie. I can't even read a book. Every day, even if it's not much, even if it's just one page of a book, 5 minutes of a game, 10 minutes of a movie, or two panels of a manga, or 50 words of a book that I'm writing, that's still better than nothing. Even if right now I don't feel like I'm whole. If I keep trying, someday maybe I will feel whole. But for now, a part is still better than zero. So, that's all I gotta say. I rearranged my room. That's why that's there now. So I guess you'll be seeing that more often if I keep sitting on my bed in my Pac-Man pajamas while I make these videos. Um, but thank you for watching, as always. I always like reading comments. I mean, some part of me feels disingenuous for saying that because just saying, I like reading the comments, thanks for watching, gets people to comment more often and gets people to subscribe more often. But the reality of it is that I do genuinely like reading. I like reading the comments. There was a comment on my last video where it was just somebody being like, you can watch an essay video that has like really well recorded audio and this deliberately edited script and feel like you're at the same place, or you can just watch a video of some guy talking in his room and kissing a Mori Calliope figure and somehow feel better about yourself. And that's, I mean, if me talking about how I feel about things is enough to make somebody else feel like maybe they can write a good book or maybe they can make a game that changes the world, then I've done everything that I need to do. And when you're a millionaire, you can send me $1 million because I'm, still gotta make rent, man. I'm dropping these knowledge bombs for free. I still gotta make rent. But yeah, thanks for watching. That's all I got. Peace.